The clock says 11:34 p.m. You've been sitting at your desk for 4 hours. Your Notion dashboard looks like a masterpiece of digital architecture. Your highlighters are color-coded by aesthetic. You've even watched 3 videos on how to optimize your deep workflow. Yet, if I asked you to show me the actual work you finished tonight, the page is probably blank. You aren't lazy. You aren't unmotivated. This is the first hidden drain. Decision fatigue before the work even starts. If you have to decide what to work on, what to listen to, and what pen to use every single time you sit down, you've already lost. Most students think they lack discipline, but they actually just lack a clear entry point. They're standing at the bottom of a mountain trying to find the perfect pair of shoes instead of just taking a step. And the longer you stand there, the heavier those shoes feel. This creates a cycle of guilt that keeps you awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering why you're so behind when you feel like you've been working all day. Consider the choice overload phenomenon. When you open your laptop and see 40 different folders, your brain goes into panic mode. We convince ourselves that we need more options, more tools, more productivity systems, but every new tool is just another thing you have to manage. It's another drain on your cognitive battery. You don't need more tools, you need fewer obstacles. But there's a second, deeper drain that no one talks about. It's called context switching. Every time you check a Discord notification or just quickly reply to a text while studying, no wonder you're tired. You're running a marathon in a crowded hallway where you have to stop and shake hands with everyone you pass. Imagine your brain like a steam engine. It takes a lot of coal and a lot of time to get that engine up to full speed. Once it's moving, it's powerful. It can crash through walls. But every time you stop to check a notification, you're venting all that steam. You have to start the fire all over again. Most people spend their entire lives in the startup phase of the engine. See, they're never actually in it. They're just constantly trying to get back to where they were 10 minutes ago. So how do we fix it? We don't need a new $50 planner. We need to simplify until it hurts. Step 1 is the rule of 1. Tonight, before you go to bed, you aren't going to write a list of 10 things to do. You're going to write down exactly one MIT, most important task. If you do nothing else tomorrow, this is the one thing that counts. By deciding this the night before, you bypass that morning decision fatigue. You wake up, you see the task, and you attack. Newsflash. Inspiration is a fairy tale for people who don't want to work. Professionals show up and start working, and the inspiration finds them 10 minutes in. They know that the first draft is just a bucket of clay. You can't sculpt it until you get the clay on the table, but the hidden drain of perfectionism tells you that if it's not perfect, it's a failure. So you wait for inspiration. When you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, your brain stays in a state of high alert anxiety. That anxiety is a battery drain. Once you have a clear, singular goal and a no willpower entry point, that weight on your chest starts to lift. You'll find that an hour of intense, focused work actually leaves you feeling more energized than 4 hours of performing productivity. One makes you a creator, the other makes you a character in a movie about a student. Think about the last time you were truly in the zone. Maybe it was a video game or a sport or a hobby you love. Did you feel tired while you were doing it? Probably not. You felt alive. You felt focused. That's because when your actions match your intentions, your brain stops fighting itself. It stops wasting energy on doubt and starts using it for creation. The hidden drain is essentially internal conflict. Part of you wants to work, and part of you wants to escape. By choosing one task and starting ugly, you end that conflict. You give your brain permission to stop fighting and start flowing. But wait, there's one more trap. The digital hoarding trap. You probably have 50 tabs open right now. You have 20 read later articles. You have 5 unfinished courses. This is mental clutter. It's the digital equivalent of trying to work on a desk covered in trash. Every open tab is a tiny thread pulling at your attention. It's a hidden drain on your RAM. Not your computer's, yours. Every time you see that tab, your brain reminds you, don't forget to read this. You're behind on this. It's a constant whisper of inadequacy. Close them. If it's actually important, you'll find it again. If not, it was just weight you didn't need to carry. I want you to realize that every unread email, every unfinished YouTube video in your watch later list, and every open tab is a micro stressor. They represent unclosed loops. Our brains are evolved to close loops. When a loop stays open, it consumes a tiny bit of processing power in the background. 24/7. When you have hundreds of these loops, you feel exhausted before you even get out of bed. The hidden drain isn't one big thing. It's 1,000 tiny things. If the path isn't paved, it will choose the phone. It will choose the scrolling. But if you have that one task written down on a physical piece of paper, not an app, a physical piece of paper, It acts like a magnet. It pulls your focus. You don't have to think. You just have to execute. This is how you reclaim the first hour of your day, which is arguably the most valuable real estate in your entire life. Step 2 is what I call the 10-minute ugly start. The reason we procrastinate and do fake work is because we're intimidated by the good version of the task. We think our essay has to be brilliant from the first sentence. So instead of writing, we go watch a tutorial on how to write better essays. Stop. Give yourself permission to be absolutely terrible for 10 minutes. Set a timer. No phone, no music with lyrics, just you and the task. Write garbage. Solve the math problem wrong. Just move. Usually after 10 minutes, the friction disappears and you're in the flow. The ugly start is the antidote to the perfect plan that never happens. Let's talk about the psychology of the ugly start. High achievers have a very high tolerance for being bad at something initially. But the hidden drain of perfectionism tells you that if it's not perfect, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.